What's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Now, like I said, we got to hear from all sides, man. First and foremost, you know how this goes, bro. We start with love, we end with love. Now, recently I released a video, and we went through and we broke down and we gave our thoughts and our opinions. The comment section was crazy on Candace Owens. Her response to everything that was going on, right? Gave her fair shot, say what she had to say, gave my opinion on it, what I thought, what I liked, what I disliked, all of that, all right? Now, T.I. comes in and he responds to Candace Owens, and he addresses Drew Brees. We all heard the Drew Brees comment that he made, all right? So we're going to get into this and hear T.I.'s side or how he felt in regards of what Candace Owens had to say. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Let's go.
I can't quite find the words. I can't quite find the words. But what I will say is, man, the Candace Owens shit got to stop. The Candace Owens shit got to stop. That shit got to stop. And I'm no longer gonna say the coon shit. No longer gonna say the Sambo shit. I'm gonna say the Candace Owens shit got to stop. I mean, listen, man, because, listen, she's clearly been sent here as a plant, you know, by the far right nationalists, the fascist Nazi, whatever the fuck, little dicksters, as I call them. Nah, man, and somebody, a comment said she brainwashed. She's not brainwashed. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's doing it for her own personal profit, her own personal gain. This is the epitome of fuck the shit that everybody else is going through. Now, listen, bro. This is the same girl who had a racial incident happen to her when she was in high school or freshman in college or some shit like that, received some funds because people were discriminating against her. And now all of a sudden she can't see discrimination. She's never experienced racism. Before you became who you are today, you made a name for yourself, reaching out to people who look like you so they could empathize and support you and help you through your situation. And
I did not know that. I was unaware of that. But don't forget, her and T.I. had an exchange. I think it was the Revolt conference that they sat down and they had this panel. Killer Mike was on it as well. But her and T.I. went back and forth on their beliefs and their issues on the topic at hand. Now, let's not forget that now. So these two are definitely familiar with each other.
There is no other solution. There is no other idea in my mind that, you know, you understand exactly what you're doing and you working for the enemy, period. You've been bought, for real. You working for the enemy, man. But the enemy discards its tools after they're finished using them, period. So, but look though, she like, and I'm torn because she a sister. You dig what I'm saying? And I don't even think she understand the real ramifications of what it is that come with what she doing. And it's hard to turn eye back completely on a sister that looks like my sister. You dig what I'm saying? That looks like my daughter. That look like it's hard to visually recognize something that shows you it's something else. That shit is like, it pulls at the heartstrings, but what must be done, man. That shit is cancerous. That shit cancerous. Like, anyone who's willing to go above and beyond over the extremes to speak ill of a dead man, something is inherently wrong with you. You dig what I'm saying? She's no better moral standing than the people who called the police on black people who happen to be white. The white people who call police on black people knowing that those police gonna pull up and that those black people have an increased opportunity to be killed. She's just the same, bro. She's steady perpetuating the same rhetoric, the same propaganda that yields the same outcome. And I just, it's hard for me because I ain't gonna be able to go and experience a day like I experienced today and then just see some shit like that go on and not feel no way about it. You understand me? I don't want to be disrespectful to her because I think that's more of a reflection of me than it is of her and her.
And I agree with him. You know what I mean? I think personally they need another one of those revolt sit downs with this issue at hand right now. And I don't know if Diddy could be the platform to start having these conversations consistently. Especially right now with what's going on, we need a sit down with a lot of different, you know what I mean, people to sit down and talk amongst this people and open it up to the public. Talk amongst themselves, open it up to the public. Just like they had that platform with T.I., Candace Owens, Killer Mike, and the others that were on that panel. They need to do that again. We need that right now. You know what I mean? So we could talk this thing out and have that back and forth in that exchange to get to a common ground.
Shortcomings. But on some real shit, bro. Us as a people, man, we cannot afford to continue to allow like this kind of rhetoric, this poison to be put out there, man, in our people, because she a white lady. Like she, like, not even like a, and some white ladies are cool, you know what I'm saying? Some white ladies show up with a joint and, a funny story, and, you know what I'm saying, they got great energy, and, they're fair and they're decent and they're for everyone. You know what I mean? Those are great people. She ain't one of them. This is a white lady who on some, I'm calling the police on you because you stole my parking space kind of white lady. Like, this is different. She means harm and destruction to our people. She's being used by people who mean harm and destruction to our people. So therefore, she a op. Bitch, man, shit, man, she a op. Now, mind you, man, everyone, and I'm talking about Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, and again, don't want to be disrespectful. I do not want to. I don't want to. I don't want to produce the kind of energy that I feel like I'm receiving. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a part of that cycle. But the shit has to stop, bro. We have to collectively, because it's been too many. Even me and my partner, like, kill him. You know what I mean? Like, you know, she got. I mean, he. Because she's a sister, he always say, bruh, she's smart. You gotta listen. I don't want to hear this shit, bro. The motherfucker speaking. That kind of ideology, that kind of rhetoric only kills more black people. It only feeds the beast that fans the flame of white supremacy, period. So, that was the bullshit of the day that I saw. You know, everything else was like, you know what I'm saying, predominantly positive. But that shit, man, that was crazy. You know what I mean? And listen, I'm only using my platform to speak out to the people who I have access to their eyes, ears, and attention to you know, to share my perspective on it. So won't nobody ever stand in the gray area of, well, what is it that we're doing? What is it that we're saying? How do we feel about this? This how we feel about that. I ain't paying in nobody's name, bro. If you ain't in the know, it's need to know basis. If you ain't in the need to know, then fuck it. Now, about this Drew Brees shit.
Yo, T.I. got a list. He going down a list right now.
Now, it's very easy for me because I'm from Atlanta and, you know,
divisionally,
it's not hard to kind of find myself on the opposite end of the Saints. But this is beyond like sports. This is like, man, this shit here is like lifestyle shit. This shit is real. But we have to acknowledge the fact that there's some kids that grew up with their fathers, uncles, aunts, mothers, cousins. You know what I'm saying? And they're racist. Second, third generation racist. And they're raising someone in a new generation. And the way they raise them, it perpetuates white supremacy, whether they know it or not. You know what I mean? Racism isn't, you don't inherit that. You have to be taught to be racist. You have to be taught to discriminate. You have to be taught to oppress. And sometimes you being taught that shit even when you don't know it. So I can't call him a racist. I'm not saying that, but I do feel like he's had racist teachings. You know what I mean? How sincere he is.
And for those of you who don't know or what he's speaking about, Drew Brees made a comment in an interview when he was asked about whether the players will kneel this year for the during the national anthem. And Drew Brees responded saying, you know, I will never agree with anybody kneeling for the flag. It's disrespectful and my grandparents fought in the war. You know what I mean? And when he said that, he started receiving all types of backlash instantly, like on every major platform. They were dragging Drew Brees, and he came out and issued a formal apology. So this is what T.I. is speaking on now.
Is about his apology. I don't know him well enough to be able to speak to that. However, his position that he took, the position of Yeah, I don't have a problem with him kneeling because I think it disrespects the flag when there are hundreds of other examples of how this flag has been disrespected based on the Constitution and what we know the Constitution to mean. Do you know that you're not supposed to have a flag on anything, not a napkin, not a t-shirt, not a bikini? You're not supposed to have a flag on nothing else. Not a calendar. So if that's not disrespecting the flag, and if the mass incarceration / slavery of other people that don't look like you are not a representation of disrespect of the flag, how is it that kneeling as in a peaceful silent protest to speak out against police brutality and the silent genocide of a generation? How in the hell is that disrespecting the flag? When the country was built on protest. So, but I mean, I do feel like, you know what I'm saying, there are cases, I don't know if this is his particular case.
My stance has always been with that whole issue with the flag and kneeling is that Colin Kaepernick's, and this all ultimately stems back to him kneeling, Colin Kaepernick kneeling. He was advised by military vets to kneel. He was advised because he was taking a stance against racial injustice and inequalities in America. He was taking a stance, and he didn't want to disrespect the military and those who had fought. So he asked the military vets, and they told him to kneel. So I kind of felt like that got lost in translation when everything went down and people just started attacking Colin. So, you know, no one's ever intent was to disrespect the military at all. Never was. You know what I mean? Never has been. So that was that. And then if you go back several years before, why nobody talked about when Tim Tebow, and I'm a Tim Tebow fan. Everybody knows I'm a Florida Gator fan, so I'm a Tim Tebow fan, but nobody addressed when Tim Tebow was kneeling for the national anthem. Only when Colin did it. So you kind of like, you can't pick and choose those who you go after. You know what I mean? But let's keep going.
But there are some cases where people just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, get all the way out there and say some shit that kind of like misrepresents them, and then they can, I don't know if that's the case for him. I don't know enough about him. I don't know him personally. I haven't cared enough to research. You dig what I'm saying? But I do know that there is racism in the fundamental development of how he speaks, of his perception, of his perspective. I do know that. So how he deals with it, though, is going to determine where his future goes. You know what I mean? And for us, to my people, I want you guys to know, right now is a time where you have everybody's attention. Well, we have everybody's attention. What we do at this moment is going to define the rest of our lives and the lives for our children and the lives for just the future. So we have to be mindful of that. You understand? We have to move with purpose. We have to be purposeful in all of our actions and activities. You know what I mean? And I see people saying Drew needs to go ahead and retire. Look, man, what his professional decisions are, man, it don't benefit me to have somebody lose money or have somebody to lose their job, or like, I ain't really into that. I just want perspective and clarity. I just want to understand, okay? Once I understand, now I can speak to the people who I represent and explain it to them. And after that, if they ain't fucking with you, then we ain't fucking with you. There's that on that. And however you deal with that, that's on you. And hopefully you can go off and live a prosperous life, and we can too. But if the shit don't mix, we just gonna goddamn separate and do our thing separately. And I think ain't nothing wrong with that. We can't force nobody to feel how we feel. We can't force nobody to take the position that we take. We can't. But we can cut their ass off. Our power is our consumer base. That's the most shit. That's the power we have, our consumer base. We are good for $1.3 trillion as consumers. We own the least. We have the least amount of ownership, the least amount of consideration, the least amount of respect. But we make for, like, we run this shit. We control the culture. We control the culture. But I think everybody should feel encouraged, remain encouraged. I think it's the fulfillment of a prophecy. And everybody's saying, yo, we're at war and we're unprepared. We don't have the ammunition. We don't have the preparation. We don't have the strategy. We don't have the leadership. We don't have the, hey, bruh, God only gonna fight with one of us. God will only fight with one side of this shit. And if it's and if he fight with us, and guess what? That's all the fuck we need. Just show up with faith. You know what I mean? Just pull up and have faith. Shit ain't gonna be how you want it to be all the time. It ain't gonna present itself to you in a way that you can perceive it, or the way that you imagined it, the way that you understand it. But you have to have enough faith to trust that whatever's being presented to you, if you get a feeling in your heart, in your gut, and you feel like this is it, then you gotta roll with that, bro. You gotta roll with that. And if you could do that, God will do the rest. You know what I mean? If you could do that, the universe will do the rest. Whatever you believe in, bro. If you can show up, have faith, knowing that you fighting for the right shit, knowing that you on the side of righteousness, you dig what I'm saying? Man, shit, God gonna do the rest. And remember, fear and faith can't exist in the same place. If you really faithful,
it's a Snapple fact right there. Snapple fact.
And you really have faith in a higher power, there's no room for fear. Because that means you believing in whatever it is that opposes you more than you believe in his power to empower you. You know what I mean? Fear and faith can't exist in the same place. So you got to pull up, man. You got to pull up armed only with your faith. This is, you know what? I was speaking to my partner. He said his grandmama told him this was the spirit of David, as in David and Goliath. You know what I mean? Shit. David had to show up facing a giant with nothing but a fucking stone. Bruh, that shit had to happen.
One stone.
But he showed up, though. He ain't hide and run, say, no, I can't do it. He's too big. All I have is a stone. I can't go. No, nigga showed up. And God did the rest. So if we really want this shit the way we say we want it, man, we gotta goddamn be purposeful. You know what I mean? We gotta be diligent. We gotta be tenacious. And we can't let distractions, because a lot of shit, look, man, they gonna put some shit out there about that. It's gonna be some shit about me. Because if all of you guys are tied into what I say and I can put out messages that you can relate to, that opposes their intention, that opposes their agenda, that opposes their initiative, They control the media. They gonna attack my credibility. That's what they gonna do. Me and everybody else around me. They gonna attack my credibility, Killer Mike's credibility, Tamika Mallory's credibility, David Banner's credibility. Everybody who you consider a valuable asset to this movement, they gonna attack our credibility. You understand? But the thing is, credibility from them and credibility from us, two different things. Sean King, you're another one. You got a target on your back too. Brother, I love you. Thank you so much for all you do for the movement, because really it's making you sacrificing yourself, and the longevity of your career and your, bruh, you putting it all on the line. As we all are, we step out here, man, and speak to, when I told them folk, man, shit, before we fuck up Atlanta, we need to be going 30 minutes east to the largest monument of white supremacy in the nation, which is Stone Mountain. And we need to fuck that up. And when I said that, they don't like it. They don't like it. Word is, motherfuckers didn't like it enough to where they shot outside my house. That's what they say. But that let me know the word getting to the right place. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to like what I say.
And they shot outside of T.I. house? Yo, man, and he got children and a family, bro. Come on, that's not what we doing, bro. That's not what we supposed to be doing, man. So I keep being an advocate for both sides to have a conversation, man. Sit down and figure it out. It's going too far, bro. It's already gotten there.
You ain't supposed to like what I say. You ain't supposed to like how I feel. I don't like what you say. I don't like what you do. I don't like how you feel. But we got to share this earth together.
Woo! Snapple fact. We got to share this earth together. We gotta coexist. So we might as well figure it out.
We got to share the earth together. You know what I mean? Whether you like it or not. So, man, I wish everybody peace, prosperity, love. You know, all who deserve it at least. Because everybody don't deserve that shit, bro. Everybody don't deserve peace. You know what I'm saying? If you wake up and every action you take is to undermine the freedoms and liberties of another people just because they don't look like you, and you say you do it because they are inferior to you. Now, let's talk a little bit about this, because if a person is inferior to you, an example. Let's say if I'm playing one-on-one against LeBron James, I can't play a lick of basketball. It's just something I can't do. I ain't pick it up. So, if I'm playing one-on-one against LeBron James, if he cheats me in this one-on-one match, that says that he thinks that I can beat him. Mm-hmm. If LeBron James cheats me in a one-on-one match, then obviously he feels that I have an increased opportunity to beat him. Okay, so white people, white supremacists, let's not say white people, white supremacists. White supremacy is built on the framework of white people being superior, black people being inferior, people of color being inferior. Scientifically, that has been proven to be wrong. But
that's where the whole concept 3/5 of a man.
Let's not even get into the science. Let's get into the social aspect of it. Socially, if you feel I'm inferior, you ain't got to spend so much time doing things to continuously undermine my progress, to continuously prevent me from being all that I can. You don't have to put laws in place because, hey, I'm inferior. I could never amount to the efforts of a white man. So then that means you ain't got to put no laws in place. You ain't got to put you ain't got to hate on me or discriminate against me in a job interview. You don't have to keep me out of a college that other people with less of a GPA can get into. You don't have to do all the shit that you doing if I'm really inferior. Obviously, you tell me I'm inferior, so I'll believe I'm inferior, so I'll never realize that I'm really superior. And that's the key. Us understanding what the fuck we are. We just don't get what the fuck we are. If we could get what the fuck we are, if we understood what the fuck, who the fuck we was, where we came from, and what we were capable of, that'll be the beginning of an entirely new day. So, that's it. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Listen, man, shout out to all the people who are denouncing racism, who are denouncing white supremacy, who are doing their part. You dig what I'm saying? Just picking up everything they got, man, getting out there and putting all their efforts, energy, and attention toward the movement. Shout out to all the young leaders, all of the young activists, all of the young organizers, the young demonstrators who never asked for this shit, but they just kind of were thrust into a position based on the moment of the time, the movement, and what was necessary, how they could contribute. Shout out to them. And I want y'all to know, man, I fuck with y'all, I support y'all, and whether we all agree with each other or not, we can't afford to be divided, period. There's a lot of motherfuckers I don't like. I don't like you, but get what? My opinion to you ain't even for public consumption. How I feel about you ain't nobody else's business. That's between me and the mirror. So, I'ma keep that shit to myself. You know what I mean? And I challenge everybody else to try to do the same thing. Peace, love, and respect to all who deserve it. And soon enough, we will see change. If we stick together, that solves 90% of our problems. All we got to do is stick together. All we got to do is stay tight, man. Just stick together, bro. If we could just stick together, man, and not tear each other down. Not tear each other down. Somebody like the person I was talking about at the beginning of this live, I don't really want to say their name too much, but somebody like that, that's a person that need to be kind of excluded. They kind of need, because if you hold them inside too long, they begin to contaminate and poison other people around, which only becomes a larger problem. You know what I mean? They are. So, Shade Room, Baller Alert, TMZ, all you guys, man, stop posting them people, bro. Stop posting. Let them only be posted on Fox News, man. Only post them people on Fox News, because that's their demographic. That's their crowd. They don't represent us. They not speaking to us. They not for us. We don't want to hear that shit. So, stop promoting that shit to us. Get that shit to the people who want it. The racist white people, and and wherever the fuck they live, and who think that black people are 3/5 of a human being and all that old shit. Promote that to them people. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers who got goddamn Confederate flags and rifles in the back of their truck and shit like that. Go to them. Don't bring that shit to us, because we don't want it. There's no room for that shit in what we do. It really isn't. We ain't got time for it. We're trying to make real change. We're trying to take real action and make real progress. And my wife is here. She wants to say something. What do you want to say?
I don't want to say nothing.
What do you want to say?
I don't want to say nothing.
You sure you don't want to say you don't have
I
nothing?
don't know what you're talking about.
What you mean you don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
I'm talking about the struggle in the movement.
Yeah, no, but you got on here talking about someone, and I didn't know, and I just tuned out. I'm sorry.
Well, see, my wife doesn't listen to me.
No,
Hey.
Mine doesn't either.
You don't either? Well, hey, man.
I mean, I'm tuned in right now, though. Hey,
You tuned in now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, listen, man. I'm saying this to say I ain't perfect. I've never claimed to be perfect, but I'm a man of consequence. You know what I'm saying? No matter how critical you guys may be of me in any given situation, I am far more critical of myself. You know what I'm saying? I reflect and challenge myself, challenge my thoughts, challenge my perspective. Just understand, I'm for y'all. I'm for us. This shit, goddamn. Simply because, man, when I see a lot of motherfuckers out there, like even the kids, let's just talk about the kids who sell water in Atlanta at the stoplight. I see so much of me in them young motherfuckers, bro. And I think that kind of, it empowers me and guides my steps in the shit that I do. You know what I mean? That's why I move how I move. You dig what I'm saying? Because I don't give a fuck what nobody else feel about me, man. If I don't feel the way I want to feel when I look in the mirror, if it's something that I ain't, you dig what I'm saying? Then I got to make that correction. And that ain't based on nobody else's opinion of me. That's based on my opinion of myself. Yeah. So, I love y'all. I appreciate it. And goddamn, I catch y'all on the flip side, but beware, because there will be an attack on the credibility of the people who you consider your leaders.
So, what the hell this one? What are they talking about? Anyway, my computer just sending you messages. But anyway, man, listen, T.I. responds to Candace Owens, Drew Brees. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you think, how you felt about it, what you agree with, what you don't agree with, man. Like I said, it's important. It's imperative that we hear from all different aspects and walks of life to get to have these uncomfortable conversations, to have these disagreements, to get to a common ground. Because like T.I. said, we got to all share this earth together. We all do. So let's keep having these talks and these conversations, man. But I look forward to seeing what you guys got to say. It's your boy L. To the next reaction, man. I'm out. Peace, y'all. Stay solid. Hey.